What was once thought to be almost completely gone from common use within the English language has recently appeared amongst the conversations of high school and college-age students. The word fiend has come back in a new light and is one of the most common insults you'll hear between school students. A word that was once used to describe Satan and the creatures that embody evil has evolved into an insulting gesture between young adults. The word first came into the spotlight several years ago when it caused the infamous fake fiend that resulted in panic at a Pennsylvania high school due to a misunderstanding between a mom and her son. That story prompted us to dive into the word a bit more to try and understand its old meaning and history, its newfound definition, and the transition from one to the other. Although the shooter scare is considered by many to be a one-time event, we feel as though the discrepancy of definitions between the generations in the United States serves as a perfect catalyst for an education about the word. That story and more on this episode of 6 Minutes. It all began on a normal day in October in rural Pennsylvania at Manheim Township High School. Marty McFly was texting his mom during class, complaining about his new desk partner who wouldn't stop taking his things. The only thing was, he didn't tell his mom what the kid was doing. He simply referred to him as a fiend. In further conversation, Marty is quoted as being fearful and on edge about the student sitting next to him. Marty's mom, knowing the old definition of fiend, which is an evil spirit or demon, assumed the student was posing a threat to other students in the school. Fearing for her son's life, Mrs. McFly frantically called the police, describing a student threatening to kill students at the school. Soon, police from around the county were on their way. They screeched to a halt in front of the school, guns ablaze, much to the confusion of the students and administration. Marty's mom soon arrived at the school, frantically looking for Marty, who soon appeared outside the front of the school, perfectly unharmed. They spoke in front of what was now news crews, reporters, administrators, and law enforcement. Marty soon discovered the cause of the incident was his use of the word fiend and held a press conference to clear up the confusion. The event threw the word fiend into the spotlight, and its official definition has been disputed ever since. Fiend originates from the ancient Germanic word figen, which means to hate. It later became Old English fiend, meaning enemy or adversary.
It's Melvin. No doubt he's going to say the most fiendish and heartless thing you've ever heard.
What a lovely day.
Take that back, you fiend!
Before turning into its modern form. The new spelling came about as a means to make it the opposite of the meaning of friend. However, the use of the word in common language and literature has been on a steady decline since the beginning of the 19th century. As many words do, it has slowly begun to fade out of language, as it is no longer needed. As demonstrated by Marty, the word has been brought back into common language over the past year or so with a new definition. A person who excessively takes things from other people without offering something in return.
A fiend is someone that's constantly desiring something.
This could encompass food, materials, or drugs. For example, if someone needs a pencil in class every day, they would be considered a pencil fiend. Or if they're always asking for hits of someone's jewel, they're a jewel fiend.
I have this one friend who is kind of a snack fiend, and wherever I go, and any food I have, he'll always grab it, kind of as I'm eating it and before he even asks.
The transition from one definition to the other is where it gets a little cloudy. While there is no clear distinction where definition changed, we like to place the timeline right around the middle of 2017. Juul, a popular brand of e-cigarette, was founded at this time, attracting many high school and college students as a safer alternative to cigarettes. While fiend can be used to describe anyone who takes things from others, it is most commonly used by teens in the context of juuling.
Cigarettes are the most common tobacco products used by young people, and now there are some new trends in vaping which raise the risk for young people. Local 12's Larry Davis warns of the dangers.
Instead of lighting up, more and more young people are vaping. Many are even juuling, which is the term used for those who use Juul.
As Juuls began to rise in popularity, fiend numbers began to rise as well. Juuls are expensive, and many teenagers wanted the buzz without having to spend the money, creating the fiend. The definition then followed suit, as Juul owners needed something to call these people. While fiends weren't evil, per se, they were annoying, and the word's definition was adjusted accordingly, thus creating the modern definition. While old uses of the word had their time, the old definition died out by itself. The revamping of the word by younger generations with a different meaning is part of the natural course of language and its constant adjustments to the needs of society. This word has been brought back in a new light and shouldn't be shunned by any part of society, but instead be accepted by older generations who might not understand it in its new light.